go is I'm just going to tell you a story about language, which I find really interesting, which is connected to psychology as well and spirituality, which is that I grew up in the United States of America. I'm a Jersey boy, right? English is my mother tongue. But at the same time, where am I really from? I am really from Israel, right? I'm a Jew, right? I'm really from Yerushalayim. And so, spiritually, I know that Ivrit ze mamash halashon kodesh vehalashon shehaneshama sheli. Aval ze lo pashut. It's not simple, right? Because achshav ani Abba. Abba means father in Hebrew. Ani Abba. Ken? Ze Hashem shel avot. That's the name of fathers. Ba'aretz, here in the land. Aval bifnim, in my psychology, in my psyche, and this is an important thing, and I'm going back and forth with this with my wife. In order for me, it's like there's a difference between knowing something on paper, there's a difference between knowing something intellectually and knowing something in your heart. And I said this about marriage when I first got married. It's like you can get married, and now on paper you're married. Like you have the wedding, you have the party, it's great, right? But have you internalized the fact that you're actually married? Have you internalized? Because for however many years you've been single, you've been alone, right? You've been alone in your head and alone in your life. And now suddenly you're bonded with another human being. So it's like, have you internalized marriage? Have you internalized this bond? And the same thing happens with fatherhood. It's like my son is born, and now on a piece of paper I can check that I'm a father. But I internalized really that I am a father. And what's interesting, what I've noticed in my own process is that I identify more with daddy than I do with Abba. And I think that has to do with my own spiritual journey, because I haven't yet learned how to speak Hebrew, and I haven't fully immersed myself here in Israel, which is part of the Aliyah journey and the Baal Tshuva journey and the return to Eretz Yisrael journey. So it's like, I asked my wife, it's like she started calling me Abba, and like that's my official title is Abba, but nonetheless, right now, I need to be daddy so I can internalize. It's just in me. It's just in my psycholinguistic circuitry that like daddy is what I am. And with daddy, which is also interesting, is like daddy is responsible. Daddy takes care of his children. Daddy solves problems. Like all the things that my father did, because he was my daddy, now I'm going to do for my son because I'm his daddy. And it's associated with the name daddy. And Abba is like a new world. Abba is Eretz Yisrael. And ultimately, Abba is going to transcend and include the energy of daddy. But right now, I need to go through this. And I think whether you're going through this linguistic thing or not, I think it's just important to be aware that fatherhood is a process of internalization, that when you become a father, it's something that you internalize, that it's not just something that occurs on paper, it's something that happens inside you. And with it is an awakening to these new things like responsibility, and responsibility is a good thing, right? Like with great power comes great responsibility, but it's true. It's true. It's like all of a sudden I have so much more energy to do these things that in the past, I'm talking about like admin tasks, that in the past were like, oh dude, I don't want to call this, blah, 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 paperwork, blah, blah, blah. But now it's like, no dude, I'm daddy, and daddy takes care of all those things. That's what daddy does. He takes care of that stuff. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take care of that stuff now. And it's that internalization process. So whatever good things are happening in your life, may Hashem bless you to internalize them. This is Eitan Ben Avram for Aleph Male. Jewish sacred masculinity. Speak good, think good, do good, grow good. Grow good. Peace and shalom.